Thanks for watching those ads. We are getting to Socke versus Violet as soon as I get the lobby set up.
Yeah, they literally just got out of game. Socke, that is, he won, so he and Violet have got to do vetoes. I've asked for an invite, and if all goes according to plan, we will follow Socke into Violet into the winner versus Kelazur. Also, should note that Fear Dragon is home soon-ish. We'll have him join us for a bit of a tri-cast, but eventually we will tag out, and he will take over the rest of the qualifiers himself. Not sure if he's going to do it solo or has someone to come with him. But as stated before, Zamgrab and I have the Alima League we need to cast tonight at, is it 2 a.m. or 3 a.m.? I actually need to look this up.
3 a.m.
3 a.m., okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got to be up bright early.
8 hours and 43 minutes. Town. And then we'll finish off this cast tomorrow with the top 4. Battling out for that final spot, whoever it is. I'm never gonna finish Steins Gate. I wish you would. 9 episodes in, 10 episodes even.
Yeah, at this point you're so far, you might as well just like you've invested the time into it, man. People are complaining that ads cut off what I was going to say. That's weird, but the thing was basically just asking people to watch ads, so don't worry, you guys really did not miss anything. TLDR, we've been casting a lot today, and we would appreciate if people watched ads. But this is, yeah, I gotta take a moment or two before we get into it, but you've actually cast Socke a little bit more than me recently, actually. I cast like that one best of 3 with him.
Have I?
Yeah, it was a couple times a few weeks back. I was just gonna, well, if you don't remember, then this makes this next question relevant, because I was gonna say, how do you think he's gonna measure up versus Violet?
Oh, okay. Actually, I do remember, I don't remember exactly what he did or how he was playing, but I do remember talking about him, and that, you know, he kind of comes back, never actually officially retired, I suppose, and has, because I remember Fear Dragon there, he looked it up, he's been playing in tournaments for a couple months now, just like smaller tournaments kind of under the radar, and then we finally noticed him in one of the Corsair Cups. For someone who, like, hasn't been super strong, like, in the media and whatnot, he looked still pretty strong. He got to the finals of whatever we were casting, Corsair, as well as whatever I cast with you, I suppose. And I think he'll do okay, but Violet has also been getting much better in the last, like, 2 weeks.
I think it was that WCA match, right? It was like that one game the next morning. I think that's what I was trying to remember what it was. Tenderfoots, thank you for subscribing to the channel. New sub. Yeah.
So I guess the TLDR is that Socke, he is not, I guess, what he was a year ago, but he is still pretty good. But Violet has been showcasing a surprising amount of skill in the last month. So I'm going to give it to Violet.
Gotta Love 69 subs for 20 months and says, will you guys make a TriCast overlay? Unlikely, because we don't get the option to TriCast that much, and with Fear Dragon having a job independent of Twitch and streaming and all that, he's only really available.
Oh, on the hot scale, I'm a 10, baby.
Thank you, Mescon. That will never get old for me. I am always gonna giggle every time, because even though I don't see the wink, I know what it looks like. It's unfortunately stuck in my brain from editing.
Yeah, this is a good wink.
You guys have to understand the story behind this too. Like, Zombie Girl was supposed to do a really bad wink, like she always does, like 99% of the time does. Try to get her to do it for a recording, she actually winks in a pretty seductive way. And I'm like, God.
I've been practicing.
I want to post the full video of that too, because it is like 4 minutes of you giggling and like bobbing your head down out of frame, like, and then finally 1 second of like winking and then giggling right afterwards.
Feel free, man.
Good times.
Yeah.
Wait, I could post that, but I can't screen cap a weird face you're making. How's that work?
I didn't feel like it earlier. How did this one? Oh, I guess because the. Okay, never mind. Thank you for the donation. The Ice of Nine. Keep whining. I think that works. Gotta prod us or we become complacent. Well.
Well, I mean, I literally said don't feel the guilty need to like donate. Thank you guys. I appreciate it 1,000,000%. But the point of it was, like, it does kind of suck when you realize, like, 8 hours into it, you're just hoping people watched ads. You're, like, fingers crossed. Like, so that the reason that Plague's now went off, for those who don't know, we recently added a top donor message. And if anyone figures out what the Korean of that message says, you get super bonus points. But Thank you, both of you guys, for those donations. Greatly appreciated.
Oh,
Nope. Another top one. Maxwell is the greatest Korean caster. Says, thank you for casting. I enjoyed this stream for $25. Well, thank you for watching and thank you for enjoying it.
I have this little thing. I'll rattle it now because that's what we are. Just begging for donations. Oh, I mean, we could.
Oh. The up to you part was in reply to the host, not to casting. There we go. All right, Violet inviting us to the lobby. His first game here versus Socke. Keep in mind, Violet is, I believe, still in North America, playing against Socke, who is playing from Europe. Either way, unfavorable to Socke. So we'll see how this goes. I actually don't know if there's a server requirement, like it has to be played on Central versus West, or what the deal is. But either way, ZvP coming up, and it's going to be a brand new best of 3. And again, the winner of this moves on to fight against Kelazur. And I'll tell you guys right now, if it ends up being Violet versus Kelazur, this is going to be a pretty hype match. But I know Fear Dragon in particular will be super happy if he's home in time for that.
Yeah, I should be home soon.
Yeah, I think he should be, yeah.
Yeah, oh, the server thing. Yes, someone asked. A gamer asked, and no reply. So it kind of sucks. It feels bad. But I think Central would be default, which I am on, so I hope it is. I'm not the one gonna get in trouble. Oh, I didn't host. Yeah, Violet's the one who's gonna get in trouble. If
Yeah.
Yay.
All right.
I don't think you put game hard on though, so that's the give and take there, isn't it?
All right. Well, WCS is your mod or whatever it's called. At any rate, it would look like we're on the Central server.
Okay.
Violet playing from the, I think, East Coast, so kind of.
West Coast, because he moved to California.
Did he move to California? When did
Yeah,
that
along
happen?
with Pult and Jack Attack, right? They all moved away from the North Carolina house.
I don't think Jack Attack moved with him, did he?
They didn't move together, but they all moved out west. Is what
okay.
I figured it out as.
Time for me to stalk Violet, but of course, I will always get distracted looking through those six-pack pictures. Am I right?
Heyo.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the top left side, it is going to be the ever-handsome red Zerg player, Violet.
In the bottom right, as the TO Protoss, is Socke.
All right, so as you said before this, maybe favoring Violet when it comes to it. There's a lot of reasons Zaki's got going against him, server, time, latency, etc. But what I've always found interesting is even back in the day where Socke was considered way better than he is right now even, he was a real interesting player in the terms of like, almost like, I want to almost call him like a drunken boxer. Not in terms of like playing weird, but he was so inconsistently good and then inconsistently bad. It was really hard to predict like what his run would look like. Sometimes he'd like win a Zotac Cup so like one-sidedly on Europe, no problem, get there to the finals, easy peasy. And sometimes he'd fall in like the round of 64. Yeah. He was a really hard guy to predict back in like Wings of Liberty and early HOTS. And I don't know how much time he's been putting into Legacy, but we'll see if it's showing off or not, because this is a tough matchup for him, without a doubt.
It is. I would actually give it to him if Violet did not have his breakup performance he did in Montreal. You know, where everyone was kind of giving him the walkover almost. Because he looked okay. He looked decent. But I was going to say, I don't think he played in the European server. If he did, we didn't get to catch him or didn't notice him on the brackets. It might have been his plan to just sleep through the day and then do this at night, because the idea is that this is going to be oftentimes smaller as well as maybe easier opponents, depending on how you look on the North American scene, I suppose. It ended up not being that much smaller. And as I said, a lot of the Europeans did have all the same idea, so inevitably it becomes another European bracket anyway.
Well, also for Violet, I'm not sure what this is in regards to, but he just tweeted, actually, the Citizen Lock thing really sucks. And I'm not sure if that's directly related to these qualifiers or just a general statement for the year because he's had to deal with it the whole time.
Yeah, Violet was certainly... He was the longest kind of situation for the passport, or the visa, actually, because he got an athlete visa, than anyone else. True had his own trouble for the last couple of months, and everyone complained about whatever Montreal, but Violet had troubles for 2 years, I want to say. Recall back, he was made most famous because of his MLG runs against Pulse. That was a long time ago. He really has been kind of just getting back to that form, and apparently he is back in that form after his recent tournament runs. He's looking really good, but it took him forever. I'm surprised he kept his motivation for that entire thing. Yeah, someone's saying, wait, Socke still plays? Yeah, it was a surprise for us a couple weeks ago when we first saw him in the Corsair Cup, but he has been in a couple of different tournaments.
We've seen a couple of old names come back. I mean, obviously, at the start of the year, Loose Friend and Vortex were hype, but they came and went. More recently, Socke and Braddock showing themselves once again in actual tournament play and qualifier competition. And Legacy of the Void may not have been the resurgence I think a lot of people wanted it to be, but it's still cool to see old players come back. He needs to get a building down here real quick.
Oh,
this
no!
is the pylon timing, so...
Oh.
It's not even like that was latency either. That was just the probe really crappy with its Q, the shift Q, but looks like this should be dealt with. 3 links isn't that bad. Probes can deal with it if it gets really out of hand.
Yeah. It's not really getting that important of a scout either. This Overlord is coming in freely. This Overlord, if necessary, could have ducked in and seen the Robo. There wasn't much to scout, but it's just always so, like, you did end up losing 2 units, right? So you never want that to happen. You're supposed to lose 0 at this point. Violet is going for a Roachworn right now, but we'll see what type of versus Protoss he's using. We've seen a lot from the Europeans with the Banelings, and it works pretty damn well, but I don't know if Violet's a subscriber to that playstyle. We'll see basically, I guess, based off how many Roaches he gets right off the bat, or if he gets any. He's actually getting a lot of Spore Crawlers, which is interesting, for how full his scouting is. Oh, well, oh, wait, no. What? Okay, well... I was gonna say, for how full his scouting is, he's oddly paranoid with the, Spore Crawlers, but his pattern is actually correct. He didn't see the gateways all thrown down, he didn't see the Dark Shrine thrown down, but it is. The lack of a 3rd base might be a little suspicious. It does come down now, though, so it's not that much later. The lack of gases on the bases. Not sure what told him, but it's a good thing he has these providing protection.
Warp Prism doesn't get the full warp in, which already makes that difficult to deal with.
Ooh. Huh. Violet's making a lot of units. I thought originally it was to clean up the Adept attack, but he's sending them across the map here.
Yeah, that's a lot more links, too.
They're gonna cancel.
Yo, when I saw when he saw the Roaches in production, I thought, like, yeah, maybe this is just a couple for maybe Ravagers, you shoot the Warp Prism, whatever, but that's a lot more links, a lot of not drones basically coming out of this. I think what matters the most here. Now, he does lose a lot of the links, we'll say almost needlessly. If he had kept those alive, I think he would have crushed any small amount of warpins, but on the other side of the map, Socke's not warping it defensively, he's warping it offensively, and Violet might just lose all of his drones here. That Queen's certainly going to go down.
I really wonder about Violet's decision-making here. He's not going to go for the 3rd base now. He's going to go for the throat, but DT's going to be warped in, and that's going to be bad news for Violet. Offensively, they weren't going to do very much with the Spore Crawlers, but defensively, they're perfect, and Violet gets really nothing from this. All he did was to, like, delay his worker counts. His workers are still dying. He's lost 14, losing. I think Violet just loses. He's going to still build army, so just continue losing out in that. Oh my god, he gets a Spore Crawler. Oh dear. Yeah, this is snowballing. Zoggy just needs to throw down production and get his own base saturated, and he'll be so good.
I'm wondering, so we see this actually a lot, right? Whether it's Neeb doing the Adept all-in, or Zaki doing this thing with DTs and Adepts and Zealots and this mixed match of units. At what point is it actually more worthwhile for Zerg to invest in, say, Burrow early on and just burrow the drones instead of losing them, running them around and whatnot?
It's still so much lost mining time. I think I guess I've tried doing that, but I don't know about pro.
Right, but I mean, in the hands of a pro, like, I'm wondering, like, how that control goes. Is it different? Like, is it worth the lost mining combined with, like, the hunting mineral centric gas opposed to straight up losing 30 workers, for example? 28, excuse me, here, now 30.
I'm still trying to figure out exactly what Violet saw with his scouting, you know? Like, so the attack kind of makes sense for what he saw. He saw 2 bases look kind of like an expansion build. It was an expansion. So he tried to get on top of that. But then he throws on the Spore Crawlers, which actually do take away drones, obviously, but also, you know, literal minerals. So
yeah,
it's like,
I mean, go on.
It's like he knew that something was off, yet he committed to attacking as if he didn't think anything was off. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was weird, and that lost him the game.
No, I see what you mean, and I agree. I think what was kind of cool, though, too, is, I mean, for Violet, he was so dead set on getting those units out, right? Like, we saw him intentionally stop droning. He wanted kills on that 3rd, for example. Maybe that was like a bit of like horse blinders at that point, because you stop looking for the Warp Prism, you stop worrying about anything else coming your way, because you just assume he's going to defend back at home.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe... I'm sure like some pros are come in here and be like, "This is exactly what he saw, and this is exactly why he did it." But whatever it is, it was a mistake. He lost the game because his scouting wasn't 100%. He thought he knew what he knew, and it actually wasn't true. Yeah, that kind of rhymed. And we're gonna get New Gettysburg. I can't imagine the same type of game goes down. That was really one of those games that like doesn't happen that often. Just crossing build orders, but decision making actually not necessarily build orders. I think Violet's gonna be, well, I don't know. Maybe he just won't be as aggressive and he'll defend against the T's as Socke goes for it again. We're in game now. In the bottom left as the Red Zerg, he is Violet.
And his opponent, who's actually up 1 in the series, the European playing for the away team, essentially. It's the Teal Protoss Socke. Now, I don't doubt that Violet would stick out the loser's bracket and try to bring this back in every way possible, but I would be so surprised if he actually lost to Socke 2-0. A 2-1, maybe I could argue you could see that, but 2-0 would be surprising to me. But New Gettysburg is a map that has proved quite frustrating for many different reasons. Drogo, if you guys remember during the European Passport qualifier, showed some really sick force field control, awesome time warps. Like, he actually used this map really well. But even then, still struggled versus Zerg.
Yeah.
So Socke may be at a race disadvantage with the map pick. We'll find out.
It'd be difficult. There's so many wide open areas once you get past this bridge, and the bridge is passed pretty quickly. But, I'm really interested to see what Violet does. That might have been a case, too, of not just being too confident in your first scout, not getting a secondary scout. That might have been a case of being too confident against your opponents. I don't know how much Violet... Well, they would have been playing together, because Violet is pretty old school, too. I'm trying to think if he would underestimate Socke, and if he's played against him recently and totally, like, you know, easy peasy, that would definitely mean he would. So an attack like he did, he might have expected, like, easy cancel on the third base into the natural. Whatever it is, I think he's fixing in his mind right now. What he's going to be more maybe defensive in his build. Take Socke more seriously. Get that secondary Overlord Scout as well. And play, I think, a much better game that I know Violet can play. But, hey, his recent tournament runnings have been a surprise to everyone. I mean, because he did get 2 good tournament runs. I kind of give it to just, okay, Violet is doing better than he was 2 months ago. Maybe they were both lucky hot streaks. I don't know. I really think he's going to do better here. But Socke threw out a Dark Shrine build. What else can he throw out? Gateway Adepts, a macro game, double Stargate Phoenix to surprise Violets. That'd be interesting. I think he does have a lot of builds in his pocket. That's what I remember from watching him in the Corsair Cups. He was not just coming back in Legacy of the Void, learning one build and then sticking to it, you know? He's actually a tournament contender.
Yeah. Well, the Adept going to make its way across the bridge. Actually, I'm surprised we didn't see Socke policing the bridge a bit more, and I don't mean in terms of having units here, but just that pylon ready to go down, buy you that extra time. Hearthstone actually being a master of doing that, the build cancel there. Always get those 2 or 3 pylons down. The Adept gets caught, though, and actually does not die.
Dang.
Wow, 4 health. Wow. Okay, so he keeps the Adept alive. Not that that's monumentally influential, but still cool to see.
Mm-hmm. The Lings aren't even going to go back to chase it, so it could get, like, this super, super small scout, like on the third base, for instance. You would assume that it's happening, and he gets a scout here, seeing, like, no Lings flooding is always a good thing, and even going to get a drone? Well, 2 drones? No, Violet, no. Okay. Its shields have recharged, though, so we could try. Scouts are Roach Warren. See if Violet keeps it. He will. Lings, did they scout the very, very quick third of Socke? They did, but can Violet do anything about it? He'd have to start making Lings now. I think he could. With the Roach Warren this early, he could just be like, we're going to take quick third base. I don't think so, but
Yeah.
we saw what his aggression did last game, and that might be having like flashbacks, like maybe I shouldn't.
Thank you, Poison Ivy. I'm not going to read the message because it hurts my soul. I used this exact same joke on Nadia's stream, and she didn't get it, and it felt really bad, man.
I feel like I like the pun, but isn't there like a flirt pun in there somewhere too? Like but I don't know you, but I'm not friends with you.
No, if we could rearrange the alphabet, maybe I put you and I together.
I like my version better.
No, yours makes no sense. I'm friends with 25 letters in the alphabet, but I don't know you. Like, okay, you don't know me. Now what? Actually, if you modified that, it was like, but I'd like to get to know you. Maybe that could work?
I think both work. I think you get the idea. Anyways, Violet is doing what I thought he might, which is just build a lot of Lings and Roaches to try and kill. What he saw was a very, very quick and yeah, greedy third base. I said maybe flashbacks the last game would stop him from doing it, but with the timing of third base, I think he's a lot more confident that there wasn't a hidden Stargate, there wasn't a hidden Dark Shrine like there was last game. Socke still might be able to defend here. Good force fields, and the Immortal pops out just in time. These are Roaches and Ravagers.
And he traps the extra Roach too, so just a little bit of a freebie. That Roach is dead to that Immortal. Dead to rights.
Yeah. Can defend the third base though. Violet going for the natural I think was a little bit greedy, and he might have just given up the third base for it. And if he doesn't get the third base, and he doesn't get the army, what does he get from this attack? Just a loss of drones? He is droning very hard now. But that was not a worthwhile attack, I would say. He got a Sentry, and 3 Adepts, and a Zealot. I was nicely held by Socke, but also maybe Violet should have gone straight to the third base.
Well, one of the things I'm worried about for Violet, right? Like, okay, we see a Baneling Nest coming down. Maybe that's desperation, or maybe this was planned all along. But his army supply suffers badly, and we've talked many times recently about how Zerg players just end up having not enough supply to get that surround, not enough actual units to surround the army and get the attack damage that he does. But Pylon goes down, but he can pop an overcharge if he needs to.
Doesn't need to. Socke did stop producing probes while the attack happened, I believe, so he doesn't have like a super amount to transfer over, but still some. 52 is not bad whatsoever, and Violet only just got up to a better looking 61, 62. Fourth base, I was going to say, should be coming down as well, unless he has like this follow-up all in. But as with the lair, he's going to be waiting for Roach speed, maybe. If he's going to go with what Snoot was doing, I don't think he ever gets Roach speed, because he gets just Ravagers instead, and Mass Baneling. He would start it soon, if he's going to get it. Okay, he's going to... I think get more than just a handful of Ravagers then, with his Baneling army. This is a very risky move out. Anytime you move out with a Protoss army this small, and now New Gettysburg too, there's a lot of area to get this around on. Usually a recall is necessary, but also good force fields, I suppose. War Prism is here. How many gateways is this off? Just 5. He's gonna take what he can get, I suppose. Maybe could have gone directly to the fourth base and gotten a cancel. But not much after that. Just losing Phoenix. I mean, I like that scout. That is an important scout. See if he's going for Banelings, but also see if he's going for, like, for instance, Aspire.
Oh, he gets the surround. Corsair Biles look like they're gonna land. They hit the sentries. That Mothership Core gonna try and recall at best in this scenario, but one mistake, one small move means he's gonna be really late to the party. He's gonna recall. Corsair Biles almost lands, and the Mothership Core would have canceled that recall, by the way, and that would have devastated Socke.
Jesus, man. Yeah, that was pretty bad to let the Lynx around go down like that. The thing is, though, is if he donuts his army, the Corsair Biles still go down. It's the same effect, right? And that was just risky to do without the Militia Corps. She was so close to being there in time. And Socke takes a bit of an army dip for it. Violet, I guess, like, not getting super well off that lead. Not getting a super large lead here. Still has his own stuff to worry about. Like, really not a lot of creep spread. Still not saturating his fourth base, although he is up to 66 drones. It's pretty good. And just waiting for a bigger army here. So Socke's gonna have time to recover off of that. Seems like he knows what's going on, by the way. Blue-Side Phoenix did see that Baneling Nest. I like that he's hitting up pylons. Ooh! Almost gets the probes.
Yeah, really low. Again, that's that +1. Man, +2 is here. Those would have all been dead.
Yeah. A lot more production coming down for Socke that he does need now that he's fully saturated. Upgrade is probably going to be done by the time Violet moves out, but this is, again, this is really risky to do. To move into a Zerg player, whatever composition they're going for, you better hope you know they're not producing units, or that you have amazing force fields, which he's had decent ones, and then he messed up that one time. He's looking, with no advanced scouting, the observer's over here. I'm so surprised he's doing this. I'd be terrified if I was him.
3 Lings, but Lings aren't that big of a deal to lose.
Yeah.
I agree. Like moving out like this is so dangerous. Maybe you land those really nice force fields. Maybe you get surrounded and Corrosive Biles hit again. I mean,
Oh,
Violet
no.
does have the army supply
I don't
this
even-
time around.
It's not even really worth it for Socke to do this.
Right,
Unless
you're
he
not
takes a great
pressuring the
fight.
base. You're taking a fight in the middle of the open, not really trading out for much. The sentries all go down
This wasn't
immediately.
bad.
That supply count's dropping, and Violet's prioritizing the army. If he prioritizes that War Prism, Sokke's just dead in the water.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't bad, and then more Banelings rolled in, so never mind.
Oh, well, as more do roll in,
Yeah,
damage gonna
now
be
it's
done.
really bad, yeah. He did it down like to 30, 40 army supply, but now it's down to 60 army supply down. It is down to like, why bother moving out like that? And on another map, that probably is okay, you know, you can fall back to a choke, but he is going to lose this game now. Yep. I didn't realize he never had any glaives. I thought he was going to really get a lot of adepts, but... Oh, Socke probably just got taken what he could get, which was the 4th base. That's game.
Yeah, this was a lot better from Violet, and this is actually what I was hoping to see a lot more, but this was also a little bit more what we like, ignoring for a moment that Socke was doing things like moving out, what seemed like needless fights and poking him out the map when he shouldn't. This is a map that does have a lot of really open engagement areas. Like, whether Socke was fighting in the middle of the map on Violet's side or whether he was defending in the middle of the map on his side, it's hard to take engagements versus Zerg, where it's just a bunch of flat land and ramps.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically not saying that if he hadn't moved out, he would have won the game, but defender's advantage and all that would have looked better.
Yeah. The base under attack quite heavily. I mean, the 4th base already went down. Violet took a 5th while that went on. Now he should be able to secure a kill here on the 3rd, surrounding the stalkers. They blink away, but not only into more legs, but into some Corrosive Biles. So this just goes quite badly. GG gets called. Violet will tie up the series 1-1.
Yep. That'll send us into the ace match. I'll take a quick break before then. See you guys soon. Hey everyone, we're in the ace match. It's gonna be on Frost Balance. Wait a minute. But I hope this isn't the new balance patch.
Wait a minute. Yeah, how do we have ref?
No. What is the first thing that they're gonna run into that would have changed?
I don't know.
See,
Hey,
Chase, wait a minute.
we can read the map is wrong.
Yeah, so this... I think the only way this is an okay map is this is the old balance test map that was recently... That was patched
I don't know
anyway.
how to reach out to them and tell them.
This is gonna be really awkward.
Do we just leave? Should we just both leave? Would that be a message that we could send? Like, or...
No, they're just gonna go find another better game. They won't think about it.
You're right.
It's gonna be hilarious though. Like, hey guys, we're casting the balance test tournament right now.
So, I mean, what's frustrating is, like, I actually don't know what this means for balance. Like, I actually have no idea what this map means, right? Like, the 3.5.2 balance could actually have no bearing on this because it could have been a previous version that led to the current balance of the game. But either way, it's not a ladder map, so it might not count. I don't know how the admins will do this. Like, for example, in the Alima League, if the map is wrong, it won't count. Even if it gets fully played out for 40 minutes, Olimoly will make you replay it on a proper map. I don't know if that level of strictness will apply here to the Copa Intercontinental qualifiers, but this being the ace match is a pretty important map to get right.
Why don't people just use the ladder map checkbox? That'll never have the situation arise. I understand. I understood years ago, back when they didn't have that checkbox, first of all, but also when tournament maps were sometimes different than ladder maps, or often different than ladder maps. This was like happened a lot, and that's when all those fake maps came in that had spine crawlers with 100 range. They're taking advantage of that. It should really never happen now. Ladder maps are almost always the tournament maps, because they just fixed that's, you know, that problem, or try to, even if we don't like some of the maps, they still are forced upon us, and they have that option. So why use the search box? Still don't know what's the first thing they're gonna notice. Cat is hopefully gonna... It's gonna be off delay soon. Chat's gonna be like, oh, they're gonna notice adepts have 1 billion range, because that's totally in the patch. Right? Right.
Maybe?
I'm really not sure. It'd be hilarious though if this is the right map, just coincidentally. If this was the last balance patch.
That's what I was
And
saying. Like, this
everything's
might
okay.
be what leads into this being the more current version of the game.
Yeah, and that's fine, but it is a little awkward if it's not. Adepts are cleaned up very easily, so I guess we'll just cast this as normal until we see something really jarring different.
Oh, it's awkward, man. I'm gonna hate like we go through this and we gotta replay everything.
Yes, that would be annoying.
Well, we'll find out shortly once... what got changed here? Banelings have more health. Well, actually, no, because it's not even a map. It's a mod that's the most up-to-date balance test. It's not even a map. It's a mod, so I don't even know how this...
I don't know. I don't know.
Someone says, look at the swarm was costing a larva, but our overlay doesn't allow us to do that, so... If I selected a larva, actually, it shows me ultralisks and vipers.
Well, this is a little awkward. The pylon's gonna go down. Oh, because the orbit didn't happen. How? Oh my god. This one. Okay, there's one over here.
So that
Alright, calm
power
down,
was really
everyone.
nasty. That timing was scary.
Yeah. That was, oh, dear
Oh
God.
my god, that pylon, I used one. Literally 1 HP remains.
Wow. If Drone had punched that, that would have been gone. Socke is getting a lot of adepts, potentially? No. Okay, so just 4 gateways, but still 1 more than normal.
Chat reminding me, by the way, first off, shout out, what's up, Nathaniel? It's good to see you in chat, man. But secondly, chat reminding us that Violet is also contending for BlizzCon. We've been so focused on the Europeans for this, but he's actually tied with a laser currently. So with a laser on the precipice of qualifying through the passport qualifiers, and Violet trying to get there to stop him from stealing his 8th place slot, and not make some sort of weird tiebreaker situation happen like Hyun last year. But it's actually really important that Violet wins. Not just this game, not this series, but the actual qualifiers.
Yeah. Well, Socke has a bit more pressure coming. Violet is preparing for this. He did scout everything in the main base, and, well, I was going to say this time he's not missing a Dark Shrine, but I spoke a little too soon. Dark Shrine comes down to the oddest location. He made the Warp Prism into Warp Mode to do this. Clever. Very clever.
Huh. I mean, it's less of an investment, but...
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this attack commences, but this is just the first part of the attack, right? Like, Miyazaki doesn't do a lot of damage with this. I'm not sure he will care as long as the DTs beyond that do more. Or, additionally, more gateways do more, because he is going quite all in with this now, with the addition of 2 gateways up to 6, I believe that will be. Yep. Violet might be underestimating, you know, he sees 4 gateways, you think, okay, a little bit of aggression, I gotta make a few more units, but that is gonna be different than what is gonna be a lot more adepts and maybe even some archons. We'll see how Socke tries to play this out. Get the adepts into that natural. It looks like he killed about 3-4 drones, 11 in total.
Transfer on off as well. Warp Prism coming to try and scoop him up if maybe it can. No, it says to just chill on the ledge and maybe warp in once again. There were some other adepts warped in towards that 3rd base, transferred away to safety, so the Roaches do defend pretty nicely. Worker count for Violet still sitting on 50 amongst all of this, and those DTs are revealed. Spore Crawler combined with the fact that we do the Overseer morphing in, he's going to be able to deal with this ideally.
Yeah, and Socke's attack isn't working. This is looking quite bad for him. Down in so many probes, down in army, and not with the greatest tech either. DTs can only do so much, whereas an Englaives can only blast so much. You're going to want Immortals, basically Immortals, but also eventually the Templars, and maybe Pickling Stalkers, depending how you want to play the game. But Socke has none of that. Still at 11 workers killed is not enough. Violet's going for a lot of units now, even though it goes for a 4th base too. Maybe looking to cancel / kill this base. Ling gets a scout.
It's nice to see the timing on it, know that you're at least ahead in that regard. You know, he's dedicated so much to the attacks.
Wow.
I think Violet had an idea that there wasn't going to be a lot behind this.
Yeah, this is... Socke just continuing to waste units.
Well, down to 27 army supply to the almost 80 of Violet is a little disconcerting. We do have Banling Nests on the way, and I guess they'll be the first indicator of, like, whether these have lots of health or not.
Do DTs have Blink in this new patch? They do, right? Someone's bringing that up, but what's so funny is that because this is automatically unpowered, he would never have checked, and I don't think we could see.
Do you research Blink? I don't actually know. I haven't seen
I don't know. That's what they're saying. It's kind of funny.
I want to go back. I'm pretty sure that this isn't because again, it's
Yeah,
a
I think it's
mod
fine.
for the new thing. So it looks like it's fine, guys. It's just a silly, weird map. And hopefully, no problems. Eventually, we'll see a Sporkle that has 600 range or something. But for the time being, it looks okay. Archon actually ends up being what's dropped.
Ooh, this is totally game over. It's been game over sometimes. Not gonna do it too. GG. After a pretty bad first game, Violet showcases his skill.
Yeah, he will take this series 2-1. And of course, now moves on to fight against Kel Azura. But I do believe Fear Dragon is home, so we'll see if we can get him on with us here in a moment. Not quite sure if he's ready to go or not, but we will try and get him on. So thank you guys for watching. We're gonna go to a small break, and we'll see you in a few minutes.